And I might spell things incorrectly, that's because I'm typing fast. I'll fix it later. All right, what's a negative implication of their mistake? Yeah. Oh, they remember whose mistake? Ours. Ah, yeah. Remember our mistakes. And they also remember on that first day you said that we would. You're like, God, I wish nobody was listening to that. But they'll never forget. Oh my goodness, they remember all our mistakes.
So Michelle, I'll give you an example.
Yep.
So when I talk to the kids and I'm trying to help them make connections, and one connection like observation and inference, you can't have one without the other, right? So, and that was my go-to phrase. So when the kids on the quiz wrote, well, you can't have one without the other, I have to give them credit for that because they remembered that that was what I used to kind of wrap them in, to hook them into it. So if they give me that instead of the specific answer that I'm looking for, I have to give them credit for it because that's how they made that connection. So.
All right. What about high energy? Who had high energy? Okay, so what's something that could be positive, that could be great about them having high energy?
We said that they're more interested and motivated,
More driven.
more driven.
Very easily engaged.
They have more
And they kind of
eagerness.
perk everybody up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Make everybody else up on their toes.
It's like so much noise on it.
All right, what about a negative? What could a negative be about a student having high energy? Could there be a negative?
They could be distracted or distracting.
Distracted,
Dial back.
distracting. Anything else?
Hard to bring dial back.
Hard to dial that.
And they can get off like task.
Off task. All right, what about creative thinkers? Who had creative thinkers? What do you got? Creative thinkers, positive.
So they think above and beyond, they're colorful, imaginative.
Colorful, imaginative, I'll fix spelling later.
People without a box.
They're boxless.
Boxless. I know, that's my favorite. What box? And that was our friend that we were just talking about. He's the one, when I said, you gotta think outside the box, he goes, what box? I didn't see a box. Oh, man, you got it.
I hate using it. What is it?
All right, what about
It's free. That's what I use.
creative thinker? What could be negative about a creative thinker?
Often misconstrued.
Misconstrued. Anything else? Not following your directions?
Yeah,
Is there a better way to do it? Okay.
thinking of their own modifications.
Modifications, all right. What about perfectionism?
We said for positives that they have high standards, they're eager, they work hard, and often independent because they like to do things. They want to do it themselves so that it's right.
Right. Okay. What about negative? What could be negative about?
They're hard on themselves and very critical of others, so they don't want to take any input from other people because their way is the right way.
Okay.
And they're frustrated very easily.
It's funny because very often your perfectionists are the ones who don't do anything because they don't know where to begin. They don't know what you want. They don't know where to begin, and they could be the biggest underachievers you have because their perfectionism kind of shines through and it consumes them.
Yeah.
I found too that those kids are not always the ones that will readily jump into a new task. They don't want to do something that they're not automatically first off going to be great at.
Yeah.
They step back and go, nope, don't want to do that. Because if I might fail, I'm not even going to go there.
I was teaching a lesson in art today, and I was like 3 steps into the project as I'm walking around the room, making sure that like everyone's on the same page, and then I get to a girl who had a blank page with a line that hadn't been erased like 5 times. The first step of the project is draw a line across your page, and then draw a dot on that line, and then connect that dot to the edges of your page using other lines. She hadn't drawn the first line. I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, I can't get it perfect. I'm like, it doesn't need to be, it's okay. And she's like, no, it has to be. I'm like, okay, we need to break beyond this. Draw a really quick line, So she did, eventually she did, but she was very unhappy with it. But it was like, I had to explain to her, like, I need you to do this, because if you don't do it now, then you're gonna get lost, because you'll be way behind, and we can always go back and fix it when we do our final project. And she's like, okay. But it was like, she was holding herself back because this pencil line needed to be absolutely perfect across the center of the page. Or at least in her mind it did, but
Well, that's one of the things that like I really focus on in my class. It's kind of like my theme. Every year I have some sort of a theme, and my theme this year is change your mind, change your mindset, getting away from a fixed mindset and moving towards a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is where people say, well, she's better than I am, or I can't do this, or even I'm dumb, or I'm smart is even in a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that what you can do now is all you're going to be able to do. Well, I can't play basketball because I'm too short, or, I never got good grades, so I can't go to a good college. Believing that the now dictates the future. Whereas a growth mindset, instead of saying I'm smart, you would say, I tried really hard and I'm very motivated on it. It's not always super positive. It's not giving all the praise like, oh yeah, you're awesome. But it's accepting that you can change your situation. So instead of saying I can't do this, you could say I could try hard and improve. You may not ever be as good as Sally so-and-so, but you're always going to improve. No matter how hard you try. Erickson, well actually, Gladwell took Erickson's work, but Gladwell's the one that popularized it with, the 10,000 hours. For individuals to become eminent in their fields, eminent in what they're doing, there has to be 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. Meaning you're not playing piano for 10,000 hours, you're deliberately focusing on skills and bettering yourself for those 10,000 hours. So no matter what you do, you can improve. You try hard, you're motivated, you're willing to learn. Looking at other people, not saying, oh, well, she's the best artist, I can never be as good as her. You would say, wow, what does she have that I could emulate? Because she really inspires me. Taking the idea that your mind can grow and you can do fantastic things, and who you are now does not dictate who you're going to be in the future. So that changing from that fixed mindset of perfectionism and allowing yourself to accept that you can grow and change as an individual. Definitely. What about sensitivity? Or were we done? We were not. Yeah, we were done. Sensitivity.
Confidence, we said show empathy and submission. And they understand others' perspectives.
Okay.
And they're more detail oriented.
Anything else?
That's it for confidence.
All right, what about negative?
Negative, they're easily upset, they cry easily. They don't take criticism well. They may get social issues. And focus more on the negative, they're hyper-focused.
I think it's interesting that you brought in the social issues and focusing on the negative. Just the other day, I was in class and one of my students couldn't do anything because she saw on the news about the Syrian refugee crisis. And students who have high sensitivities, they take the weight of the world on their shoulders. Events that have nothing to do with them impact them physically, impact them emotionally. Have you ever read The Secret Life of Bees? I can't remember the one of them, and she carried the weight of the world on her shoulders. Talk about a gifted individual. My student, she's able to understand, she knows what's going on. She's a 5th grader, but she knows what's going on. She knows all about the war. She's seen pictures, that you wouldn't want a human being to see, let alone a child to see. She's seen those pictures, and she takes it all to heart. And it's part of who she is. She's an amazing individual. She's caring. She's always the first one to go over and help anyone else. But there's a lot going on the inside that you might not know if you didn't have the opportunity to allow them to open up about it. Is there any other? We got every table, right? Look at that. We've got time. I like
rapid learning.
Rapid learning. Woo, look at us. Look at us go. All right, publish that so it can show up on here. All right, now, just before, I don't know if we have time for the simulation. Do we have time for the simulation? We'll do it real quick. So, some resources for new teachers interested in kind of like diving into the gifted world, it's a lot of fun in here. We have a good time. Birdseed, Ian Bird, he's a phenomenal speaker. He comes up with some really amazing ideas for you to do with all your students. He's a general ed teacher with a passion for gifted, but he teaches in a general ed classroom. But he has a lot of amazing strategies and ideas on his website. The gifted guru, Lisa Van Gemmer, she also works with Mensa. She actually came to the district a few years ago, met with some of the teachers here. She's got a lot of great resources on her website, and these are all like clickable pictures. New Jersey Association for Gifted Children, here's my little shameless plug there. They're a really great organization for networking. There's a lot of really fantastic gifted teachers across the state. They have a really awesome president right now.
Her name's Rochelle Falanga.
Who does a lot. So they're a really great organization. I think it's like $40 for the year to join, but you get a lot of camaraderie, a lot of, anytime you email the board with questions, they come out and they'll help you in your classroom, anything like that. So it's a little shameless plug there for the Jersey Association for Gifted Children. GT Chat, for those of you on Twitter, they host hashtag GT Chat. If you follow those, it's international, so it's educators from around the world, parents from around the world, get together and discuss topics and critical issues in gifted ed. The Rutgers Gifted Ed Continuing Studies is a graduate level certification course. There's 5 classes. They are awesome. I took those as well, so I'm on the board there too. So I'm a little biased. But they're really great classes. You don't have to take all the classes in the series. The 2 or 3 best ones I would say is the Gifted Child. It could really open your eyes up about not just the students in your classroom, but maybe people in your family and maybe even yourself, because I find very often many teachers fall into the gifted category as well because we're good at so many things and we want to share those passions with the students. So Gifted Child is a great course. Social emotional issues of gifted children is another great course, and then also curriculum and instruction is the best curriculum class I've ever taken. So if you're going to take only one class, take that one. And I've taken 4 different curriculum classes, and that one by far was the best I've ever taken. It's all up to date, brand new. It's really opening up and looking at the big picture as opposed to looking at concepts, not content. Yeah, it is a phenomenal course. But anyway, another little shameless plug there. And then I've got some files down at the bottom, just ways that you can recognize gifted students from Kappa Delta Pi, and then Even Geniuses Work Hard, which was an interesting article that was just recently written. I think it was AFCD that put it out. I don't know. I think it was AFCD. And again, it's very interesting, but feel free, peruse those on your own time, as well as peruse our Gifted Ed site, because we've got a lot of cool stuff going on the website, and a lot of neat things going on in the district. Like we have before school clubs, future problem solvers, destination imagination. We have lunch clubs going on at the elementary school and the primary school, and a variety of topics. We have professionals from the field coming in to talk to our students about the amazing jobs that are surrounding us that the students may not have heard of. There's a lot of good stuff going on, and I have a blog too that I like to put stuff up. So if you're interested, you can check out what we're doing. A lot of fun. All right, so we have just enough time for the simulation. Look at that. Woo! All right, I have a few. I guess they're like little biographies here, little resume on some students. So based on what you know about Gifted Ed, based on anything that you've learned about Gifted Ed, I want you to think about if this student was in your classroom, what would you do for them? What kind of resources would you seek out? What would you do to help them? What strengths do they have? I have actually some questions to focus on. Look at that. So what strengths do you see in the student? What are your areas of concern? Any additional information you'd like to know? Would you recommend them for participation in any part of our programming here in Millstone? And then what classroom modifications would you make for them? I have 3 different levels of children. So I have primary, I have some primary grades, I have some elementary grades, and I have some middle school grade children. But what I like to do, I'm only going to give you like a couple minutes, so read through, chat real quick with your group. You want the middle?
I will let you tell me. Jefferson Snodgrass.